I received an email from Jared, and he wanted to know when is he tossing and turning during the night that's causing him to have such an incredibly low sleep score. I think this is a fantastic question because if you follow me for any period of time, you know I'm a big fan and an advocate of the Garmin watch and its platform, not only because of the customer service and the quality of the workmanship of the watch, but I really love the interface in the data collection and how easy it is to both find it and interpret it. So let me share a dashboard with you here on the Garmin platform. When you're looking at the screen right here, this is found by going to your phone and going to your sleep data from last night, and then scroll down below. You're going to see an awake and restlessness box. Click on that. And what you're going to see is this report right here. Now, what's pretty cool about this is you know that dark blue represents deep sleep, and you're going to notice that the light blue represents the awake time, okay? So when you're looking at this, what you want to be paying attention to is look at the very bottom of this chart. See where it's dark blue? Notice how the movement goes to almost zero. And then you'll notice that when you're tossing and turning and you get into some of the other colors, you'll notice the hash marks go up, indicating that you're literally tossing and turning. This interrupts your quality of sleep. And this is what I want you to kind of zoom out and ask yourself, what is causing that restlessness? Now, when we're looking at your dashboard, what we're able to figure out, and I know this may sound a little bit crazy, is notice if you see a pink bar, literally you had to physically get up, maybe you went and emptied your bladder. If you see that you're having a hard time falling back asleep, you might want to cut back on your water intake and just play with the time. What's the last time you took in fluid, and did it require you to have to get up and empty your bladder? Especially if you're having a hard time falling back asleep. If you just have a little sliver of pink, you got up, you emptied your bladder, and you came back and you went right back into deep sleep, nothing to worry about. Now, when we're looking at, one of the things I love about this report is it also helps me understand, are you having a reaction to some foods that you may have eaten before going to bed? If you follow me for any period of time, you know I want you to bridge 8 to 9 hours of sleep by snacking on something that's high in fat and or protein before going to bed. Both of those items tend to be low in calories. It's going to satisfy hunger. When you satisfy hunger, you're going to sleep better. Now, I know some people will try to tear me up and say you shouldn't eat before going to bed. I'm just sharing with you my experience at the time of this recording, 38 years. I've had tremendous success with people satisfying hunger before going to bed. Now, we use this chart to look at how does their body react to the food that they've taken in. We also, just an FYI for you, we also look at the stress level. We go and we look at the stress chart to see after they went to bed, did the stress level go up as the body tried to break down food. Now again, I'm not trying to get into an online argument with anybody. I always say, please don't just take what somebody says as the gospel. Test it. Run it through your own litmus test. I've got an individual who can eat yogurt, but he cannot drink milk. Both have lactose in it. He was diagnosed by a dietitian by saying he's lactose intolerant. No, he's sensitive to one and not the other. Now again, I have nothing against dietitians. They're brilliant people. They're very well studied. But when somebody just classifies you as having an allergic reaction to something and says don't eat it, well, my experience has been it's difficult enough to get enough calories on a daily basis to fuel ourselves. So if we start stripping more and more food groups out, that just makes it more difficult. For the sake of this video, when we're looking at sleep quality, I want you to see that the first report showed you how much you toss and turn, and you can also look at the stress, because if you look at the stress report, it literally is time stamped as well. So you can see how your body's reacting after you've eaten something, maybe it's 90 minutes or 60 minutes, 30 minutes before you go to bed, and how did your stress levels look while you went to sleep. Now put those three together. Yes, 3. Look at your sleep quality and quantity. 2 hours of deep sleep to how much awake time. That's variable number 1. Number 2 is how much did you toss and turn. And number 3, looking at your stress levels through the night. So you see why I have such an affinity towards the Garmin Dashboard. Not only does it do a great job of collecting the data, it helps us be able to interpret the data very quickly. Now, I get this question all the time, so I'll answer it right here. Is there a margin of error? Absolutely. Everything that we look at from a human performance standpoint always has some level of variability to it. What we always say is consistency averages everything out. So for example, when somebody argues with me that a scale may not be accurate, it doesn't matter if it's accurate. What you look for is consistencies. The most accurate way to get your body weight and to get your percentage of body fat is through submersion. How many people have the ability to do that? Very few. Work with what you've got, learn how to interpret the data, and factor out the anomalies. Great question as always. If you happen to have a question and you'd like us to do a deep dive on it, could be a frustration or just something out of curiosity, do me a favor, please send me an email, contact@coachrob.com. We'll take a deep dive into it. We'll get the information. We'll put it into a video for you. We do post them here on YouTube every day, so please remember to subscribe and like. Appreciate your time today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.